Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Keds. I'm with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Saturday, June the 17th races at Hastings. We do have 7 races on tap.
Yep.
We do have 8 races tomorrow. No stakes races this weekend, but lots of good allowance. There's some good allowance races over the next two days, and some good sized fields. Actually, a couple of really good cards.
Yeah, there's some tough handicapping races, and as Mike mentioned, 7 on tap on Saturday. I do want to mention too. Saturday, it's Glenn Todd's PCB employee day at the races.
Right.
And we are doing a giveaway in the paddock after every race. I myself will be choosing the best turned out, the best looking horse in the paddock, and giving a prize to each groom. I pick a horse. The groom gets a prize package from Glenn Todd and PCB. So remind the grooms, for the trainers listening out there, to listen for their name of their horse as the horse are going on the track, and they will get a prize. Lots of fun stuff going on Saturday.
Excellent. They don't get rewarded enough. It's nice to see Glenn do that.
That's why we did something good for the grooms.
Because these kids work hard, making sure them horses come out all shined up and ready to race, and it's nice to get a little extra.
Absolutely. Cool. So listen for a horse when they're going on the track. One given away each race. Speaking of races, we start out the card with a $4,000 claimant event for 3 and up Colts and Geldings. Field of 5 in this one, going 6.5 furlongs.
2 Similkamines and a couple of...
2 Similkamines and then 3, I think, pretty decent.
It's not like wine,
horses.
Cedarburg and Merlot. I don't know.
There's some decent horses on that side. I couldn't decide. I really like the 3 on that side.
Yes.
I went to Ace Deuce because he's coming off the last best race, I thought. I went back and forth. I had Merlot, then I had Cedarburg. I ended up on Ace Deuce. I think it sets up well for him. The 2 Similkamines should take care of himself on the head end, I'm hoping. I think Ace Deuce gets a good crack at him. Phil Hall, Peter Reddicoff, Enrique Gonzalez just been on fire this year. I got Ace Deuce over Cedarburg. Sandy again, what's she bet? 36%. This guy figures to be tough. David Lopez, our leading rider in the irons. And I put Merlot, who could well win this race, in the 3rd spot. Those are the 3 I like. I had trouble putting one on top. I did go 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, I flip-flopped them. I agree. The Similkamines, Luke and Joey, are probably going to go at it. Not that they're going to go crazy, but still, it's going to help the off-the-pace horses. Cedarburg's going to have the best chance if he's good enough to win. I mean, this horse is going to have first run, I think, on Joey and Luke, who are the pace setters. I just think Merlot's the best horse, and
I can see that.
I'll try Merlot to win it over Cedarburg and Ace Deuce, but I can see any one of them.
I had Merlot. He comes out of that tough, that 16 and 4 born on the track race.
That's a big drop, and Cedarburg's back down for 4. He crushed. But, took advantage of his winter conditioning, and Ace Deuce, same thing. Took advantage of his winter conditioning.
He was had nowhere to go in those last races.
No, he was bottled up. He was going to win. I know David Lopez talked to him. He was a little frustrated after the race. It was just sometimes things don't happen in fields, in races, and you never get out. And that was the case with Cedarburg. I went 3, 4, 5 in the Saturday opener on race number 2, 6250. Fillies and mares here going 6.5 furlongs. The one Sabrina's making, a pretty good drop, as is the 4 SL Express. I think those are your 2 horses to zone in on. Races aren't filling as regularly in the $12,500 and $16,000 filly mare division. So you're going to see this throughout the remainder of the season. I think horses that have been running reasonably well for 25 or 16 or whatever early in the year taking drops. And it's not because that they aren't doing well. It's just because races aren't filling, and you got to win. The purses are good here, so you got to win. But you got to win them.
You need to go somewhere,
Yeah. I think SL Express is going to get a pretty good trip. Sabrina is probably the better horse, but I just think Valid Val, Rachel Run, Texas Alley Cat may just be enough to bother a Sabrina and make SL Express a winner. And I thought those 2 were going to be tough. I put the 3 Touch of Green in the mix as well. Pretty easy win last time. I know this horse has just been running for $4,000, but since Phil Hall put the blinkers on this filly, she's really turned the corner. It was a really impressive, long, sustained run last time. I wouldn't even be surprised to see her win it, because she's catching SL Express and Sabrina, not in their top form as well. At least, and them fillies that are in good form, you want to stick with them. So I put that one in the mix. But I did go to the 4 SL Express to win it. I put Touch of Green for 2nd, and always respect Sabrina. I put her in for 3rd. But I think you need all 3 of them in your early pick 4.
Well, and you can even go deeper than that. I just 2 of the same ones. I always really a coin toss between Sabrina and SL Express. I do think that it sets up better for SL Express, but Sabrina in for 62.50. I just can't go beyond that. Dino's stats when he takes this kind of drop off the charts. Richard Hamill sticks with her, of course, but him and Dino always very tough together. I just think she's so much better than the other speed horses in here. Maybe. I mean, she's off form. She didn't run a whole lot last year.
Well, Express beat her last time. But
yeah,
I
know.
But I know they were...
No, I mean of the speed horses.
Right, yeah, Sabrina's the best. Yeah, no
so
kidding.
I just think maybe, Richard can work out a good trip for her, get her maybe a half length ahead and keep...
fighting on, because she's good. I mean,
get her a little bit of a break at some point. And so I put Sabrina on top of SL Express, but boy, it's tough between those two. And I put Rachel Run in for third. She came right out of the box firing, and she's just a win machine. 11 for 26. She's got a race now. Mark Kluche's going very good. She's got a nice work back in 1 minute and 4/5 on the 10th. Like, a lot of size. That's another one. That would be the other one. I think you're right. Touch of Green. Zanita Rose already fired a big one this year, but. I mean, I think it's SL Express and Sabrina, and then I would have Touch of Green and Rachel Run in my unders. I went 1, 4, and 6 in it's about as tough as 62.50 claiming race as you'll find down here. Our third race, Maiden 16, 3-year-olds and up. Another race I went between two horses. Not so salty, but there's two horses I couldn't decide. In fact, I got circles on 2 of them, and I ended up going on Coat of Arms. Just because he's more lightly raced. Santa Wars had a lot of chances.
Yep.
Coat of Arms only had 3. A good second behind Santa Fe Trail in the first maiden special weight of the year. We've seen Santa Fe Trail come back to win a 16 on 2 a couple weeks ago. So I put Coat of Arms on top of Santa War, who's going to be your favorite. A really good second behind I think it was a pretty nice horse in Tapatio last time. I'd have both of them in any pick 4s or pick 3s I have. Got Coat of Arms over Santa War. And I threw in Jackson Teller. Not a terrible race last time. Did move forward heading into the Keith Peterson. Our good friend Ken Johnson off that claim. A good third behind Liquid Metal and Martel last time. Jose Asensio, of course, has been injured. But Richard Hamill picks up the mount. I went 3-6-1.
Yeah. I think Santa War's the horse to beat. Obviously, I mean, but you're right. The horse has 2 inches of form, and anytime you have that many chances...
Honestly, that's the only thing that scared me off of him.
The distance is the key. Like, this horse's best races were going a mile 16. He's not a great sprinter. He showed it last time. He had every chance to win in a 4-horse field, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't keep Tapatio boxed in because he doesn't have that sprint gear. He's more of a not a plotter, but I mean, he's got a long, steady run. And his best races last year were against Refound Gold, who's obviously a lot better horse than what he's facing. And then Great Promise beat him, and then he lost his final start of the year.
Sergeant Rick, who's already come back
to Sergeant Rick, who won an allowance race by disqualification, but did win an on-2 allowance. But I mean, he got beat. But his best races were long, and I think that's just what he wants to do. But the 5-horse, I don't love He's Gatsby at all. Don't get me wrong. Sort of said, I had every opportunity to win 2 starts back. Ran a flattering second, I thought, and then came back to run 4th. I just think the horse might want to run long, and I was between Coat of Arms and Brother Rod, actually. Those are my 2.
Brother
Rod scratched at the gate. He's had some issues with the starting gate, but he can run. I know it.
He's got nice work coming into this at 59.
Yeah, I know. He worked with a stablemate. I think it was Slicky Boy, I think. But they worked together quite quickly. But I know he can run, but he's still got to get it all together. I went 6, 5, and 4. I did leave Jackson Teller out of the mix, but maybe this horse could improve on the stretch out. I went 6, 5, 4. The third on the 4th race, nice allowance. Wow, what a good allowance. One of many, as I mentioned off the top, good allowance races this weekend. No stakes, but we got stakes caliber horses in here. Going 6.5 furlongs, fillies and mares in this optional 35 claimer. I went to the 1 Sailing for the Sun. A good runner-up effort in her final start last year in the BC Cup just after Touching Promise, who was BC bred champion. Probably a little better going along. Actually, this horse can sprint too. Actually, her best races are her first time out too. Look at her 2 races right out of the box last year. I don't know allowance races, which what this is. I mean, she ran good, and she's dangerous. I just think she's better than a lot of these horses. Yeah. And I'm going to try Sailing for the Sun to defeat the 2, Cherokee and Me, for Greg Tracy and Romario Saunders back in the fold in the Greg Tracy barn. This one was claimed for 25 and surfaces for no price. And obviously they kind of like her. And I put the 6, Theo Claire, who is obviously dangerous, but still needs a win. This horse had a lot of off-the-board performances this year and in sprints, which are that's her gig.
It's her gig, yeah.
So if she was losing sprinting and then, routing and then coming back short, I would really, give her a good, really like her. But at a short, you're going to take a short price on Theo Claire in here, and I just think she's beatable. I think Sailing for the Sun's a better filly. I went 1, 2, and 6.
Well, yeah, I know, and I got different horses. I agree with you, top pick Sailing for the Sun. She fires fresh. Been working very nicely for this. Look at that, 59-4, 59-2. She's on her toes. I expect her to fire.
A tough mare.
She's really nice. I expect her to fire a big one off the bench. I have different horses under her. I put Susan's Day in the second spot because Fire Beauty goes, Ciudad Eau Claire goes, and if they soften up Ciudad Eau Claire, I think Susan's Day gets first crack at them. Everybody else is a bit of a deeper closer, like Princess Katie, Quatre Cat, Cherokee and Me. They come from further back. Susan's Day is going to be right behind.
Yeah, could have first run.
And I think she gets first crack at them. If Sailing for the Sun falters, that's a big if. So I put her in second spot, and I put Princess Katie in third spot. Last time we saw her, she was winning a stake at Emerald, going a mile, but she's dangerous. You're a good second behind Snuggles. This is a pretty nice filly. She's been off since
really
last year. I just think I expect her to run a big one. Rob Gilker and Amadeo Perez are always dangerous together. She's probably better going a little bit further, but
she can sprint. She's all right.
And if it gets hot up front, I look for her to come running. So I put her in the third spot. And a very tough. I mean, we didn't even touch on Fire Beauty, the one who just beat a bunch of these fillies in the 25 Quatre Cat former stakes. It's a nice race. I did go 1, 3, 4 in the fourth. On to the fifth, another tough one.
Allowance
Filly
race.
Mare allowance race, going 6.5 furlongs. I went to Baby Scott Tracker out of the Phil Hall barn. Didn't have a great trip last time. I mean, Yukon Bell was going to win it. She only got beat 3/4 of a length for second with a bit of, she didn't have the best of trips. Before that, she basically won this race. She beat a few of these fillies. I expect her to come back now with Enrique Gonzalez to run a big one. I got Babies on track. On top of Princess Oprado, who would absolutely be my pick if this race was going long.
Yeah, of course.
But sprinting, it is going to compromise her a little bit, but I like the move to Richard Hamill. I put her in the second spot. And I put Eco Charge. This filly has had 3 very good races so far this year.
She's a most improved filly.
Yeah,
she's really good.
She's running at the bottoms last year. She's running for 12.5 as a 2-year-old and has just blossomed into a different filly as a 3-year-old. 3 very good efforts. I thought a really good second by Yukon Bell last time. But I thought that Baby Scott Track didn't have as good a trip as Eco Charge. So I put her on top. Prince of Prado in second and Eco Charge in the third spot. 2.93 for me.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if you've left out the 6 Estelado, who I think is in with a good chance. I hate leaving out 4-year-olds in these 3-and-up races because the 3-year-olds are really not at a disadvantage, but they're not as advanced as the 4-year-olds. And Princess Oprado and Estelado are the 2 4-year-olds in the race. You have touched on Princess Oprado, who's probably a better route horse, but at this caliber, she's running in a stake and an optional 35.
Yeah.
I mean, well, especially the optional. I thought the optional 35 was very good behind Cherokee and Me, bonus spin. And Fire Beauty, those horses would kill this field.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, she's drawn poorly and might get a good pace to run at. But she's very live. I think Estelado's really live. She had a full year layoff. She's one of the, a stakes caliber filly last year that unfortunately went to the sidelines after her final start in May, and then she had 1 full year off. I thought she ran a really good race, considering it's been a full year.
In her first out, so she should move forward.
I think she's way better than Baby's Got Track and Classic Statement, who she did lose to, who had races on their belts. But Estelado, a couple of good works. I think she'll be better prepared this time for the race. And I agree with Eco Charge. I got Eco Charge in the. This horse is very live. This is a tough race. There's a lot of ways to look at this one. There's no key in here. There's no standout. No. This is Estelado and Princess Oprado are the 4-year-olds, but they're probably better distance horses, both of them. And the sprinters are all 3-year-olds. Eco Charge would be, for my money, the best of the bunch. I've gone 6, 3, and 9. We've left something better out, who's dropping at a stakes company for Greg Tracy.
Colleen's Diamond.
Spirit Bay.
We didn't touch on
another 4-year-old. Colleen's Diamond, who's really good. Quite a while
Colleen's Diamond, but she's been off a year. Good luck to you. Ran a big one last time.
This is a good race. There's a lot of things going on in this race. Really look at them in the paddock. This is a toughie. The one thing you are guaranteed of in this race is a pace. There's going to be speed in here, and now. If you can, it's going to be tough to extract the winner out of it. But I'm going to try 6, 3, and 9 in race number 5. On to the 6th race, $4,000 fillies and mares, going 6.5 panels.
Bunch of them.
Yes, 11. We got some good fields today. The 4-horse Rio Hannah, I thought, made a very good return to Hastings. She's always done well here. I got to try her to win it. But the 9-horse Ariki Princess, who's money all the time, she's dangerous for Jon Snow at this level. Just going to need to work out a trip because she isn't the best gate horse. So when you're coming from mid-pack or back of the pack. It's tough in an 11-horse field, so things get a little trickier for Silvino Morales and Enrique Princess, but I know he definitely has the horse to get the job done. And the 10, Dosselina, I put her in.
I don't know.
I have no idea if she's quit running or if the $4,000 tag will get her back in the winner's enclosure and get her coming back up the ladder, because she is gifted enough to beat this field. But I know it's been a little disappointing the first couple of races this year. I've gone 4, 9, and 10 in a very difficult. Who have I left? I left I Dig That, Chestnuts Gold, Moonride. There's a lot of nice little horses in here. But I went 4, 9, 10.
I agree with the top pick, the Rio Hanna. I thought she hadn't ran since January. She does some winter racing, but not since January, and a really good effort her first out. Battled the whole way, just got a little tired, only got beat a length and 3/4 behind Valid Vow. I think she fires a big shot in this one. I got Rio Hanna on top of, I put Moonride in the second spot.
Yep, they were always close.
I mean, you look back, her first couple races here were very live. I just threw up that last one. I expect her to rebound with a good effort today under Enrique Gonzalez. And I'm with you, I put Enrique Princess in there. She's well in her realm to win this, but coming from well back could hurt her chances, you mentioned, in 11-horse fields. I went 4, 7, and 9 in the 6.
Moonride's another one of my Bear Rock and Rolls. Whenever I pick Bear Rock and Roll or Moonride, and then when you don't go with them, they win.
They show up. Moonride's one of my favorites.
Moonride's always a good price horse. So.
I always got Moonride in the mix. I like Moonride. In the 7th race, 3 and up, maiden 8, 6.5. My best bet of the day, Kelson. Only gets beat 2 3/4 for 25 behind Catch Me and Sanawar. Especially if you watch Sanawar come back and dust that field for 16 today. Yeah. Kelson gets even liver. This isn't an overly tough, even for 8, there's no real other droppers in here. Kelson, for me, looks to be well in command of this field. I got him on top. I put Irish Commander in the 2nd spot. Comes out of that Sanawar Tapatio race, which is a live race, ran 4th in there. There was only 4 horses, but I only beat 8 lengths, and it was his first start. And Phil Hall, who's just having a banner year, doesn't mess around, puts him right down the $8,000 category, and Amadeo Perez sticks with him. I got him in the 2nd spot. And I went with a flyer in the 3rd spot. El Cid for Pops.
For Arnie Benowith.
Yes. Arnie Benowith, our good friend Arnie Benowith.
The show.
Absolutely missed the break. Actually, what happened was he broke a step slow, and the horse to his outside, he was in the 1 hole, kind of come over on him, and he just sucked right out. He was 15 or 20 out of it for most of the race, but he made a good, long, sustained move. He's got that under his belt, and cuts his price in half. He's well bred. I think he'll come back with a much better effort and could hit the board. So I threw him in the 3rd spot. 2, 1, and 3 for me.
That's a pretty good trainer change. I like that from Arnie.
Did you see that? I know.
I love that. Our trainer previously trained by Arnie Benowith.
Previously trained by Arnie Benowith.
A Hall of Famer. Nothing against Arnie Benowith.
He's a Hall of Famer in his own right.
Different.
I did text Arnie yesterday and said I didn't realize you'd taken out your trainer's license.
Yes, I know it will definitely be corrected, but it does on our proofs. Previously trained by Arnie Benowith, El Cid.
Who only had 1 start on the season, apparently. Arnie only ran 1.
But I agree, Kelson's the horse to beat in here. This horse is drawing a perfect spot. Not a lot of speed in the race. Going to get the lead. Class relief. There's just, you're getting 3 to 5 or 4 to 5 on Kelson, but might be a key in your late pick 4s or whatever your tries, whatever you like to play. Put the 7-horse Footman. If anyone beats...
That's the other one I left out. I could see him winning this.
Maybe the blinkers on will help. The first run wasn't bad. This horse did kind of lose focus on the back stretch and was flying at the end of the race. Almost caught lucky ending for 2nd. And, I thought it was a good race. Richard obviously thought, made a mention. And Tara Nagel puts blinkers on, Footman, so this one could improve. And the 8-horse Colonel Kevin, another one, blinkers on, class drop, put him in for 3rd. 2, 7, 8 in the Saturday finale. Well, that'll do it for our analysis of the Saturday, June the 17th program at Hastings. Next up on screen, there we go. Here's our selections, recap. Back in race number 1, I went to the 3, Merlot, 3, 4, 5. Race number 2, I went to the 4, SL Express, 4, 3, and 1. Race number 3, I went to the 6, Sanawar, 6, 5, 4. Race number 4, I went to the 1, Sailing for the Sun, 1, 2, and 6. Race number 5, I'm going to try the 6, Estelado, 6, 3, and 9. Race number 6, I went to the 4, Rio Hanna, 4, 9, and 10. And the 7th and final, the 2, Kelson, probably the best bet of the day, 2, 7, and 8.
On to my picks. Back in the first, I went to the 5, Ace Deuce over the 4 and the 3. In the second, I went to the big dropper, Sabrina, over the 4 and the 6. In the third, I went to the 3, Coat of Arms, over the 6 and the 1. In the fourth, I agree with Mike, the 2017 debut for number 1, Sailing for the Sun, over the 3, Susan's Day, and the 4, Princess Katie. In the fifth, I went to the 2, Baby's Got Track, over the 9 and the 3. In the sixth, I went to the 4, Rio Hanna, with the 7 and the 9 and the nightcap. I agree with Mike. My best bet of the day, number 2, Kelson over the 1 and the 3.
Well, that'll do it for this edition of Handicappers Corner. If you can't make it out to the track on Saturday, if you're out in the South Surrey area, please do come on out to the Derby Bar and Grill. Lots of televisions here, lots of great food specials, drink specials.
It's a rainy, nasty
it's
day.
Gonna
You don't
be,
want to go to the track.
Yes, get out
here.
here. You don't want to make that drive into town and you're out on this side of the Portman or the tunnel, whatever. Come out this way to the Derby Bar and Grill. Great atmosphere here and lots of racing action. On behalf of Drew, thanks everyone for tuning in. Our next live card will be tomorrow, or actually Sunday, June the 18th, where we will have 8 races on tap. On behalf of Drew, once again, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Handicappers Corner.